Good morning. It is Friday. It's October 5th. This is WGTV Today. I'm Wayne Alley.
And I'm Kim Best. Good morning on this Friday morning.
Thank you for being with us. We appreciate it. It's going to be a great day weather-wise. Finally, the temperatures are getting just a little cooler, and that's a great thing.
Perfect fall.
It is. It's a perfect fall day, and the fairs is today and tomorrow, and then that's it. That's it.
It's been a good run, though.
It has been a good run. There were a few days that were a little
off because of the weather?
Because of the weather, yeah.
Yeah, we did have a few rainy days.
We did, but today and tomorrow are going to be great. Friday and Saturday. The gates open at 4 o'clock this afternoon. The rides open at 5 o'clock this afternoon. Vocational competition today includes science, and that's in the entertainment arena tonight at 5:30. At 5 o'clock, the Junior Barbados Lamb Show.
Oh, my.
There you go. That's tonight at 5 o'clock in the Livestock Arena, the Powers Great American Midway, of course, I mentioned. The Thrill Show, the lots of activity at the Kidsville stage, the Magic Show going on this evening, all kinds of stuff going on. Also, the Discover Agriculture Contest this evening at 5 to 9 p.m. The Vintage Farm Equipment. I love old tractors. I love the old tractors, and it's so much fun. Of course, we're in an agricultural community here, and a lot of people remember these old tractors and farm implements, and it's just a lot of fun to go out and look at these old tractors. And they've been rebuilt beautifully and restored beautifully. The Western Gunfight Show, of course, you want to hear a lot of noise? There's a lot of noise. Also tonight, the Recycle Cycle. The Blues Brothers will be walking around this evening. Barney is in town. Barney from Mayberry. Everybody remembers Barney with the bullet in his pocket and everything.
Oh, yes.
That's right. Monsanto will have the America's Farmers Mobile Experience underway this evening and around this afternoon. That's all going on at the Wayne Regional Agricultural Fair. And our thanks to Milton Ingram and Eddie Pitzer and the fine staff out there for doing such a wonderful job again this year.
That's right. And tell them one more time, Wayne, about the awards that they've won.
I'm telling you, we should all here in Wayne County be so proud of our Wayne Regional Agricultural Fair. They're the winner again of the 2012 Image Award. When I was out there the other night, I walked into one of the rooms on the backside there of the office, and Milton pointed out to me
the wall of awards.
The wall of awards, and how many times they've won all these. He is just so proud, rightly so.
He
certainly should. But
and aren't they like the 4th largest?
It's the 4th largest regional fair in the state.
In the state.
County fair in the state. 4th largest county fair in the state.
So many of us don't know. I didn't know that until he told us.
The Image Award, which they won again this year, is for the best fair in the state in the large fair category. Of course, we have a large fair. It's a very large fair. The Midway is enormous. But again, the best in the state here in Wayne County, and the winner also of
to him and his staff.
Indeed. They're also winners of the Youth and Agricultural Awards from the North Carolina AOAF. Don't ask me how to spell it. And the 4th largest fair in North Carolina, and many other awards. They're always winning awards, even for the catalog. They win awards for the catalog. They're so good. But yeah, again, a wonderful fair. We should all be very proud of it.
Well, we've got lots of other things coming up in our community now that the fair has almost had its run.
Yeah.
We have many other things taking place across the community.
What's going on?
Well, one of the things that I wanted to talk about was, you know, we have many events that take place downtown Goldsboro.
Yeah.
But you know, until recently, I didn't know myself that other organizations, whether it's a business or a nonprofit or whatever, they can use a lot of these venues downtown to hold their event.
Yes.
You know, like the Taste of Wayne, you know, is coming, and this is the first time they've been downtown Goldsboro.
That's right.
And they are using Cornerstone Commons.
At the corner of Center and Chestnut. Okay.
And many other organizations are starting to use the venues downtown, from the Veterans Memorial to the Paramount Theater to the Acme Theater, which is a much smaller, intimate setting. And the list goes on. And, you know, if you're a nonprofit or if you're a local business or community organization that you would like to find somewhere unique and different, call Downtown Goldsboro Development Corporation, and they can sort of give you more details on which one would best fit your needs for what your organization is wanting to host and what the sizes are, if there's a fee included.
Sure.
So it's just real interesting, I think, that you can come down to Goldsboro and use one of our venues.
I agree. I've actually heard people say, you know, I want have a family gathering,
right,
or I want to have a neighborhood party, but I just don't know where to have it.
Exactly.
But there are places available, all sizes.
That's right.
From small and intimate, as you say, to larger items, and outdoors, some indoors.
Even meetings. You know, if you want to have a meeting, you don't know where to go to hold it. You know, people are using various ones of these downtown local venues to hold things. Yeah. I know several people have talked to me about holding business meetings at the Acme Theater. Yeah. You know, he's got a large boardroom table in there, and it's just a nice small atmosphere. So yeah, there's lots of opportunities there. Just call Downtown Goldsboro Development Corporation. They can give you all the details. Wow. Yeah. That works. New and exciting.
What's that number?
I don't remember, but I know the website is dgdc.org.
That's it.
How about that?
That's it. And the number's on that website.
Absolutely,
dgdc.org.
And it's on the city's website as well.
There you go.
Oh, yeah.
And when I said that, it was because I couldn't remember the number either. I thought maybe, well, anyway.
Just the website. But we can lead them to the number very quickly.
Oh, yeah, sure. Oh, well, Kim, today is the 5th of October, and today you have brought us a report on the streetscape. How we stand on that.
Right. That's right.
Also, later on this morning, Karen Bashir is going to be speaking with us. Looking forward to that. We have a report from wages, another report from wages. That'll be coming up here in just a little while. Also from the DGDC. They'll have a report.
Very good. Well, Streetscape, you know, is moving along, Wayne. We're getting close to our deadline. Streetscape is supposed to be finished the 1st of November. I think the 9th is the deadline. And everything is so far is on schedule. We're moving right along, and you're going to see the update that we did recently with Josh Price, who is the project coordinator, and he works for Daniels & Daniels Construction, which is the company that won the bid to do this first phase. And you're going to hear from him what has happened in the last couple weeks and what we can look forward to happening in the next 2 weeks.
Well, I'll tell you.
It is moving along.
It is, and it looks great. The traffic circle looks fantastic. That's been finished a week or so now.
It has.
And the, what street is that? Mulberry.
Mulberry. It's open. They haven't, they've paved it, but they haven't painted the lines yet. They'll do that whenever they actually pave Center Street. Yeah. But the director, or the project manager, Josh Price, was giving us a lot of details on the infrastructure being replaced. I think you'll be surprised at what all he says about how in desperate need we were of replacing so much of that infrastructure under that ground. It was amazing, some of the things that Josh was telling us.
And people don't, it happens so slowly over time. Things deteriorate.
Hundreds of years.
Yes, over long periods of time. And you don't realize the condition things are in or how bad things are until you actually dig into it.
Oh, yes.
All right, let's see what else we have. A couple of, I wanted to mention the celebration of cancer survivors. That's coming up next Tuesday. Today's Friday. That means the very next Tuesday, October 9th, between 5:30 and 7:30 at Wayne Memorial Hospital, in the dining room, there will be a Celebrate the Art of Survival event. This is artwork and jewelry created by area cancer survivors, as well as harp and violin music by members of the North Carolina Symphony will be performing there. Dance lessons from Top Hat Ballroom instructors. And the list goes on and on and on. It's just a whole lot of stuff.
What time of day is that?
5:30 in the afternoon. Okay. 5:30 till 7:30 at night.
The dining hall at the hospital.
Exactly. And if you want information about this, you can call the hospital at 731-6299. Of course, that's 919-731-6299. Advanced registration is requested, please.
And you know, Wayne, our Wayne County Chamber of Commerce holds a lot of workshops throughout the year that we want to make sure that we promote and that you all are aware of what all they offer. And coming up soon, they have a couple different topics. One is 2012 tax and workshop workers' compensation. Taxes and 2012 workers' compensation information will be covered in one workshop. Then they have another one about social media. And it's things like how to do blogs, when you would use a blog, the RSS feeds, more information about social media than you could ever imagine. But if you go to their website, then you can find out lots of information and lots of details about workshops that they hold on a regular basis right there at the Chamber of Commerce.
And you wouldn't believe how helpful that information is.
Oh yes. If either one of those areas is something that interests you, call or go to their website and they can give you details about how to register for these workshops and when the dates are.
Okay. All right. It's a Friday morning. Let's get a report on the streetscape.
Yes, I'm anxious to hear that. I want you to hear what's going on downtown Goldsboro. Streetscape Update. I'm Kim Best, your host. Today we're going to hear from Project Manager Josh Price of Daniels & Daniels Construction. We'll also hear from Meg GERNAAT, who is Promotions Coordinator with the Downtown Goldsboro Development Corporation. We're here to keep you informed on what's happening in your city, so stay tuned. Thank you, Josh, for being with us this morning on Streetscape Update.
Thank you.
We are ready to hear all the updates that have happened in the last couple of weeks. There's been quite a few. Boy, y'all have really made up a lot of ground, haven't you?
We sure have. We sure have. The biggest thing and our biggest milestone was getting the Mulberry intersection and the traffic circle back open. All the work in those areas is now complete. We will have the Mulberry intersection striped when we come back and stripe the rest of the project. I was wondering
when you do that, because I saw you've done one end, but not the other yet.
You've got it, and we have traffic loops to put back in the asphalt pavement, and that's for the stop bars, the sensors for the stop lights, and those really can't go back in until we get the intersection paved. Okay. So we didn't see any need in striping it until we had to. Other big milestones is that the utility work is 100% complete. All the power poles have been pulled, all the electrical lines are underground, all the water lines are tied in and complete, and all of the infrastructure is now in place to move forward.
Well, as you're talking about infrastructure, tell me a little bit about that. I've heard you all say numerous times how delicate it was because the infrastructure needed replacing so severely. So can you give us a little background on that?
I sure can. The water lines were old, and I know we've talked about that a lot. The water lines were old, the joints were so fragile that in a lot of places, the only thing holding them together was the mud and the dirt around. Oh my goodness. So I'm sure that the business owners have seen a higher quality of water and a lot better pressure coming through their lines now. And as far as the electrical goes, the electrical was fine the way it was overhead, but I know as part of the master plan was to get all of those lines located underground and give it more of a sight line from side of the street to side of the street. Mm-hmm. And the overhead lines and the age of the power poles really took away from the aesthetics of downtown Goldsboro.
Right, right. So all the power lines are down. Everything is buried underground.
That's right.
All the water lines have been replaced. I'm sure business owners, like you said, have seen a tremendous increase in their water pressure and the quality of their water.
That's right.
Wow. So a lot has happened in the last couple of weeks.
It has, and we've moved on to doing surface improvements. All the curb and gutter is now complete.
Down from Mulberry to Ash?
From Mulberry to Ash, the curb and gutter is complete. The right-of-way bands, which the right-of-way band is a concrete band that runs from right-of-way to right-of-way, which is the building face to building face the whole way down. And the reason that was part of the master plan was that with the age of the buildings, some of the buildings were set forward a little bit, some were set back a little bit, and this gives us a plane to work off of to widen the sidewalks.
Okay. All right. Well, tell me about the traffic circle being reopened.
Sure.
What all you've done down there?
We had to run the water lines through. That was the big piece of it, was running the water lines through and tying in actually past the circle, headed down towards the water tower.
Oh, okay. So that was one of the issues that you all ran into, or not issue, but something you knew you were going to have to deal with when you got in the traffic circle.
You've got it. So we've tied in all those water lines. The storm drainage had to go into the circle. There's a catch basin that collects rainwater runoff on one side, so that had to go in. And then there were some old asphalt islands that were in disrepair, and they were pretty shabby looking for it to be the gateway into our new block.
Right.
So we now have the islands put back, everything's repaved, restriped, and reopened.
Well, it looks great. I went down last weekend and took some pictures and posted those on the city's Facebook page, and we've already had quite a few comments on how much better it looks and how much easier it is to go around the circle now.
It is. It really is. And the new lines just pop, and it makes everything refreshed and brand new looking.
Absolutely. So. Well, now tell us about, you mentioned sidewalks earlier. So with what you've done so far and all the replacements that you've made underground, now you're starting to work on top of the ground, and we're starting to see more and more visually what's taking place. So can you give us some background on that?
I sure can. One of the last kind of dirt moving operations we've done is we've put in a specialized soil called Stay-Lite. And what the Stay-Lite is it's a peat moss stone mixture that is going in underneath the sidewalks, and it'll allow the trees to grow and prosper while still giving a structural feel so that our sidewalks and our brick pavers don't shift and move and collapse over time.
Okay.
It should also keep the roots from the trees from popping those pavers back out of place, so they'll be in for a while.
So you all really looking ahead for the future and when the trees get larger and how it could affect the sidewalks that you all are working on now.
That's right, that's right. And with the soil allowing for healthy root growth, we'll have time to get those trees established. And you know, with everything we're doing, we don't want to have trees not prosper and not do what they're supposed to do. So that's going to help. And we are looking to get the pavers back and the sidewalks back probably within the next couple weeks.
Oh wow, that'll be interesting to see the
It sure will
difference.
be.
Well, tell us about the sidewalks. You had mentioned earlier they were going to be much wider than what we had before, both on the sides in front of the businesses, but also in the middle.
They are. They're around 10 feet wider from the right-of-way band to the new curb.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to allow, you know, a lot more pedestrian traffic. It should make downtown a lot more pedestrian friendly. There is some parking loss on the streets, but with all this off-street parking that we have, from what we've heard about the master plan, is this is going to encourage some off-street parking and some pedestrian traffic and really get some activity back downtown.
Okay, well with the wide sidewalks, would that encourage some businesses such as restaurants to be able to have small tables and chairs out front of their business? Is that one of the things we're thinking about?
I believe so. I believe that was part of the master plan.
Okay, okay. So in the middle section of the street, in between, you know, the business on one side and the business on the other, you have the center line there. Can you tell me what that will look like?
Sure, sure. Right in front of City Hall, it's going to be a new plaza, kind of a gathering area. We're putting in some brick seat walls, which will be a place for, you know, to come and have a seat and watch the parade for the events that they're going to start doing downtown. It'll be a good gathering place right in front of City Hall. With those seat walls, we're tying that together with some planters on either end that'll have landscaping in it, and there will be a wide sidewalk that runs down that complete median also.
Okay, wow. So we'll have sidewalks on either end, sidewalks in the middle, trees of course in the middle, and then benches and
a couple bike racks also, to kind of encourage some bicycle traffic downtown.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like you all have really thought this through. The master plan really gave the specifics on how this should be done, and it's looking like that we're going to have a bustling downtown, or we hope we certainly do in the future.
So. That's the plan.
Wow. Is there anything else that you'd like to share about what has happened in the past 2 weeks before we move to the next two?
I think we've just about
covered it.
We've really picked up a lot of steam the last couple of weeks. The underground work was a challenge. We all knew going into this, with it being the pilot project, there were so many different variables of unknowns under the ground, and luckily we've been able to work through all those, and we're still on target to finish up the first week in November.
Oh, that's awesome. We're excited and ready to see what it's going to look like. Okay, next 2 weeks, what can we look forward to seeing possibly?
Next 2 weeks we'll start to see the sidewalks and the brick pavers come back.
Okay.
The center sidewalk in the median that we talked about, that should be finished in the next 2 weeks. All the planters and seat walls should be finished, and really, next 2 weeks you're going to see a lot of the surface improvements come back. It's really going to start to take a shape of what the final product's going to be.
So how about the paving of the streets? I know that's towards the end typically.
That is. Right now we have that scheduled for the last week of October, and that's going to be really our next big milestone. Weather willing, and with the progress staying the way it is, I think by the end of October we should have the street paved. And that'll only leave striping and you know, going back and cleaning up and kind of getting everything tidied up to finish with.
All in time for our Light Up Downtown.
That's right.
Which is the end of November.
That's right.
Oh, that's perfect. Well, Josh, thank you so much for coming on a regular basis to give us these updates. I know it's helpful for me, and I'm sure it's helpful for everybody in the community to sort of know what's going on, what has taken place, and what is going to take place in the future. And it's helpful for them to be able to sit at home and listen to what we have to say about it rather than having to try to drive down here in the midst of all this. So thank you so much. We appreciate all your help.
All right. Thank you.
Good morning, Meg. Thanks for being on the show again this morning.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. I'm ready to hear about what other cities that surround Goldsboro have participated in something similar, a project as similar as Streetscape, and how it's affected their community. what benefits and what maybe not so many things have benefited their community once they've done the project. Can you give us some background on that?
Yeah, cities like Rocky Mount and Salisbury, they've done similar streetscape projects. They've taken, a chunk of money and invested it into their downtowns. And, they noticed that their downtown needed a facelift, that it needed some sprucing up to draw new businesses in. And, I think they recognized that they owed it to their existing business owners to make a change that would boost their business as well. And they've seen businesses grow, and with that comes, more population, and in the long run, it really does lead to people investing in their downtown and their community. It has an effect on everything, from your school system to, the type of entertainment that's in your area. So they've really seen a big change.
So it really does affect more than just what happens in your downtown area.
Yes.
It goes all the way in your community and affects everything.
Yeah, investing in the urban core is key to making your community vibrant and stand the test of time. And
we've seen that in so many communities, not even those that have done these particular projects, but so many communities have talked about the fact in strengthening their downtown, whatever means they happen to use, really makes a huge difference in their entire community, in prospective people wanting to move to your area, whether it's military based or just people looking to relocate.
Right.
They're really looking to see what activities and what type of events you all have in your communities to make it strong and inviting.
Because so often, I do this with my family, I'm sure you do, where you go to a cute little town and you want to walk around and look at the shops, and if you know that there's a downtown that you just love in your area, that makes you go visit the downtown, but then also say, well, let's check out what's going on in this side of town today, or let's check out this event that's also going on nearby, and it really draws the community in.
That's true, that's true. Well, how about some feedback that you have received possibly from the business owners who are being affected right now in phase 1 of the Streetscape project? Can you tell us sort of what they're thinking and feeling at this point in time?
Yeah, the business owners have been wonderful. We've got 4 businesses that are really affected in the current Streetscape project phase, and of course they were going to be hesitant, because it affects their business, their livelihood, but they're excited to see what the new design is going to look like.
Right.
They have said that where at first they were a little hesitant, now they're looking forward to seeing the kind of crowd that the new construction brings in. Water pressure, they like that.
I've heard so much about that.
Yes, they've got better water pressure. The overhead lines are going to be buried, so if someone's going to invest money into their facade of their building, they really want that to be seen.
Right.
And now the overhead lines aren't taking away from that.
Right.
And phase 2, the businesses that are along the phase 2 site, they have really helped us in getting ready to talk about how phase 2 is going to be done.
So you've asked for their feedback.
Oh, we have. It's very important to us to keep the business owners involved because they're huge stakeholders in this. And they've been helpful, letting us know as to how we go about closing streets, what's going to, affect them as little as possible. And they've let us know, what they've seen in phase 1, how they would change things, and they've really expressed to me a need for the community to pull together. This is something that we're doing to better the community, but if everyone can pull together and make this about bettering Goldsboro and Wayne County as a whole, and supporting downtown businesses throughout the construction, everything would be much better.
Okay, so talk to me about a little more details about phase 2. How we're thinking it may happen, what changes, or how it would be different than phase 1.
Phase 1, we really had the advantage of all 4 of the affected businesses being on a corner of the construction site.
Right.
So they all had access. We were able to find ways that everybody could access those buildings throughout the construction process. Phase 2 is going to be a little bit different. It's going to go for 2 blocks from Mulberry to Chestnut.
Right, 2 blocks instead of 1.
Yes.
Okay.
So we really have to find a way to keep traffic to those businesses open. And we've held some discussions with business owners to see what their opinion is, how they feel we can best go about making sure that it affects them as least as possible.
Oh, so you asked for the businesses that are going to be affected, their opinions and how to make this flow better for them?
We have. It's very important to us to include their opinions because they're the ones being affected, and their support is huge to us. If we can have those businesses supporting us, that'd be wonderful, and we want to help support them as best we
can.
Right. Phase 2, like I said, it's 2 blocks. It's going to look the same as phase 1 as far as architecture and design goes. The center median is going to be the same.
So it'll be wide, just like it will be.
Yes, sidewalks are going to be widened.
Okay.
There is going to be another traffic circle feature that's going to have a fountain, some kind of
structure of some kind. Okay.
The parking is going to change. I know that people have commented on you know, losing parking spaces, but it's going to be head-in angled parking on one side of the street.
In the center median?
And then along the storefront sides of the street, it's going to be parallel parking.
Okay.
But to make up for parking spaces that are being lost, the city is looking at developing a parking lot.
Oh, okay. So they could park and just walk a little ways?
Yes.
Instead of being possibly right on Center Street? Okay, okay. And when are we looking for this to happen, or just to break ground, possibly?
Well, right now is when we are really starting the discussions. We want to make sure that we've got the momentum and we're moving forward. We're taking steps in that direction. So we're in the planning phases right now, getting opinions from the community and business owners. And then by January of 2014 is really what we're shooting for to start phase 2.
So in the meantime, between now and January of 2014, we're getting the plans together, we're talking with the businesses, we're trying to make sure that we follow their lead.
Yes.
Okay.
And it's a learning process. We've learned a lot in these past few months with
phase 1. Yeah, it's a pilot. So anytime you have the pilot, you're going to learn through that.
Right. So, like I said, we're just in the planning phases right now, and we're moving forward.
Wonderful. Well, it sounds like we got great ideas, and having the businesses on board and following their lead is huge.
It is.
That's going to make a big difference, and having their buy-in and having their information to keep them happy and keep their businesses thriving during this process.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Meg, for coming and giving us some updates about what the businesses are thinking, or business owners, and what we can look forward to in the next year.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
Thanks so much. For additional information on the Streetscape project, you can visit the city's website at www.goldsboronc.gov, or you can like us on the City of Goldsboro's Facebook page. View one of these to stay informed on what's happening in your city.
We're back on WGTV today. Thank you for being with us. Kim, what do you have there?
Oh my goodness, a long list.
Okay, go ahead.
A long list of things happening in our community.
Oh yeah, we're really busy this time of year.
The fall is always busy,
I love it.
But one of the things I did want to remind everybody, if you have young children, or if you just want to participate yourself, the Goldsboro Parks and Recreation is hosting their annual Fall Festival, and that will be October the 20th.
Oh boy.
And it will be, of course, at Herman Park Center, and that is a free event. It has lots of children's activities throughout the day. You can go on Facebook, or you can also go on the city's website and find out details on time of day and that type of information. But it is free to the public. It's a fun day. I've been for several years now. And take your children, your grandchildren, your neighbors, and have a really good time at Herman Park Center.
Take your neighbor's grandchildren. In fact, take a neighbor.
As long as you get permission.
Yeah, well, yeah, that too.
Absolutely.
Or just go find somebody on the street and say, come on.
It's a really nice little event, though, and I think it's from like 1 to 4.
Yeah.
It's in the afternoon, and it's held right there at Herman Park Center.
All right.
Yep.
Let's see what else we have here. Very quickly, on today's Almanac, one of my favorite all-time television shows premiered on this day. It was a long time ago to some people. To me, it wasn't very long ago at all. On this day in 1950, the You Bet Your Life with Groucho Marx premiered on television. Groucho Marx, the popular TV game show debuting this day after 3 years on radio with host Groucho Marx. The TV show lasted 11 years, and there have been a couple of people trying to bring it back. Buddy Hackett tried it, and then of course Bill Cosby tried it, and it was kind of lukewarm. But you can't.
Nobody can do it like the original.
Nobody can do it like Marx. Groucho Marx, a very funny man. Also on this day, Long Walk Day. That's because a guy named David Kunst walked around the world beginning in June of 1970, and he walked until October of 1974. It took him 4 years to do it. He walked over he walked way over 14,000 miles. Took him 4 years and took him 21 pairs of shoes.
Well, that's interesting tidbits.
Well, just thought I'd throw that in there. 1930 it was. You ever heard of Laura Ingalls?
Yes.
You ever heard of Little House on the Prairie?
I believe I have.
Well, she was also, believe it or not, she was a pilot.
Oh, really?
She was an airplane pilot. Yeah, she was an airplane pilot. And this day in 1930, 27 years after the Wright brothers flew, Laura Ingalls completed the first transcontinental airplane flight by a woman. She flew across the country.
My goodness.
And she was the very first to do that. She flew a biplane from New York to California. It took her 4 days to do it.
Well, I bet most of us did not know that.
I bet most of us didn't. And you know what? She didn't have to stop and ask directions. She just knew where she was going. And, you know, of course, back then, you know, the biplane would only go so far.
Right.
But it took her 4 days to get there, and she was the very first.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
One more thing, let me remind them.
Go right ahead, real quick.
That's right. The Arts Council of Wayne County, the first Friday in every month, they hold a free event at the Arts Council, which is now located downtown, and they're a nice, beautiful venue.
Yeah.
And they have an event the first Friday of every month where you can come and meet local artists that have studios right there in the Arts Council. You can talk with them about their art, what they do, how you can participate in programs at the Arts Council. They have free food and beverages, and I think they serve wine that night. And it is free to the public. Love to have you there. Go to artsinwayne.org and find out more information.
artsinwayne.org. Okay, good. That sounds like a lot of fun.
It is. They hold it. This is the first year, I believe, they've held it throughout the entire year.
Wow. All right. October 5th today, and it's going to be October 5th, I guess, all day, right?
I would assume so.
All right. Let's see. Who's coming up next? We're going to be talking with somebody else about something else right now. Okay. Let's talk. We're going to hear now from Karen BRASHEAR. Also from MARLEE Ray of Wages. That's up next on WGTV.
Welcome to WGTV Today. I'm Kim Best, your host. Today I have with me Karen BRASHEAR, Director of Public Utilities with the City of Goldsboro. And one of the things you may not have known is the City of Goldsboro has a compost facility. And Karen is here today to tell us about the facility and how you can purchase compost yourself. Hi Karen, welcome.
Hi Kim.
I'm ready to hear all about this compost facility. I've toured it, it is so interesting, and I want everybody else to hear about the compost facility produced by the City of Goldsboro. So tell us about it, Karen.
Be glad to. The city built the compost facility in about 11 years ago, and it was built to actually deal with two waste streams the city had. One is the tree limbs that our residents put out on the curbside for our recycling program that's picked up every 2 weeks.
Right.
Instead of those going to the landfill, they are composted. There's a second material stream that we also want to deal with, and that is the biosolids that we actually grow microorganisms at the water reclamation facility to treat wastewater. And those materials are dewatered. They're combined with chipped yard waste, and we put the two together and we compost them at very high temperatures for about 30 days. And the temperatures are so high that it would actually kill any viable weed seeds, because you don't want weeds coming up in your garden.
Exactly.
So it kills the weed seeds or any pathogens. And the compost that's produced is very high quality, and it's actually considered by EPA as exceptional quality compost.
Well, my goodness, how about that? So we have exceptional compost here produced by the City of Goldsboro.
Right.
Wow. Well, how can the compost be purchased?
Well, the compost is mostly purchased by wholesale customers.
Okay.
And those customers, if they agree to signing a form that they will buy 20 cubic yards each year, that we will sell it to them about $6.50 per cubic yard. Though, and that's generally landscapers, nurseries.
Large quantities.
Very large quantities. They come in like tractor trailer loads generally.
You're not just pulling up on your pickup truck saying, I'd like to get, you know, a couple barrels of compost.
Right, and then even the equipment that's moving there is so large, you'd actually bury, you know, one scoop would bury a truck pretty much.
Wow.
So we generally sell it in large quantities. But if citizens would like to also buy it, we generally direct them to the retail outlets, such as landscapers, nurseries, and local people that they can buy.
So you do sell to many local businesses. Okay.
Yeah. And then like at my home, I buy at retail also.
Right, okay.
Yes.
So you buy it from the local landscapers or whomever is purchasing it from the facility itself.
Exactly, right.
Okay, okay. How can people get more information about the compost in general?
Well, if anyone would like more information on the compost, they're welcome to call me or the superintendent, Rod Pace, at the compost facility. But you know, sometimes people want a compost technical data sheet.
Right.
We can make sure they get that, or any other information they may need. They can call us. My phone number is 919-735-3329.
3329, okay.
And then Rod Pace at the compost facility.
And how do you spell his last name?
P-A-C-E.
Rod Pace.
Rod
okay.
Pace, he's our superintendent.
Okay.
And his number is 919-735-0110.
0110, Rod Pace, and he's the superintendent over the compost facility.
Right.
Okay, so also on our website, if someone goes to the home page, they look under departments and they go to public utilities and they click on public utilities, there you can find a lot of this information about everything that Karen does as the director and all the different areas that she oversees. And you can find out some details about the compost facility, and phone numbers, that kind of information is there as well.
Exactly.
Wonderful. Well, thank you, Karen. I think a lot of people may not have known that we produce high quality compost right here in Goldsboro from the limbs that people put on the side of the road. That is an interesting fact that I didn't know myself until I toured the plant recently. So thank you for sharing. And if you'd like additional information, you can go to www.goldsboronc.gov, look under departments and then public utilities, and you can find out all kinds of details about what public utilities does in the compost facility itself. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you learned what's happening in your city.
Today we're talking with Dr. Marley Ray of Wages, Wayne Action Group for Economic Solvency. I wanted to ask you about the campus there on Royal Avenue. It has grown. It's enormous out there. What's in all those buildings?
And that building actually weaves around and has all kinds of little offices in it that we invite people to come and see us. But on Royal Avenue, there is the front part are our administrative offices, and where we house most of our programs. In the back is a full child care educational Head Start center.
Wow.
And then across this way, as we like to say, the one with the green roof, Royal West, is a full Head Start center. So we have 2 Head Start centers on Royal Avenue. We have one on Herman Street across from Goldsboro High School. We have a Head Start center on Chestnut Street, back of Walnut Street School Apartments. We have a new center out at Belfast. We converted the old Belfast school, and it's a beautiful center now. And we have a large Head Start center in Carver and in Mount Olive.
Wow.
Our largest center actually is in Mount Olive.
It's in Mount Olive. My goodness.
So lots of sites for children.
Well, you cover a lot of ground, yes, but you help a lot of people. Now, how many children would you say are involved with your Head Start?
There are about 800 children in that program.
My goodness.
And we do start with babies. I mean, little babies, and we have our early Head Start program is birth to 3, and then Head Start is 3 to 5, and then they transition into kindergarten with a great Head Start. You know, one of the things that's I think is so special about Head Start is, along with all of the other educational components and the things that it puts a focus on safety and health of children and health care, but there's a strong parent component. And our parents are involved, they volunteer, they're in the classroom, they really learn and are a part of that whole school community.
Wow. Wow. Well, Head Start, there's always been controversy, and there always is with any sort of government funded organization. But how would you explain to someone who would question the need for Head Start?
Well, research clearly shows that early education is key. And I am a firm believer in that. Obviously, prior to going to Wages, I was with the public school system for plus years.
Yeah, 30 years.
So I really have that sense of understanding of just how critical that early education is and what a difference it makes as those children come to kindergarten and progress all the way through to high school. The difference it can make in a lifetime. It's something our school system is committed to. We have collaborations. For instance, we have a collaboration that's a part Head Start and part special needs classroom for preschool children. We have a collaborative classes that are Head Start and NC Pre-K, which is the old more at 4.
Right.
And it's, you know, and we have those collaborations, and so we collaborate with the Partnership for Children with that. But what it does is it gives those children that edge, that opportunity to really be on a level playing field, to be able to access everything that they can be. And then we all benefit from that when they become really wonderful, productive citizens taking leadership roles. One of the things that Head Start does, for instance, is a parent policy council. It's a group that gets together and helps make decisions. But that alone brings our parents in, gives them leadership opportunities, gives them the chance to be a part of that. And we see such growth with our children when their parents have that ownership.
Would you say a lot of it is just simply making it or giving them the opportunity?
Some of it is just simply giving them the opportunity. We have a grant that's a fatherhood initiative. It's wonderful. We bring in our dads and any males from the community that are interested. We have a little training session called ME, Males Exclusively.
Oh, right.
So we don't let the ladies in on that one.
No,
they get their
no
turn
women
for
allowed
once.
here, right.
And but they also are the ones who come out and clean up the playground and help repair stuff and work with us, and so it's a partnership.
Wow, I know that's exciting. That really is exciting, and I know you have good participation in that as well. But there's never enough, is there?
Well, you know, we can always use volunteers, whether it's like with, you know, as with the school system, whether it's a volunteer to read with a child, or whether it's, you know, a volunteer to take time in a classroom to assist. We do have foster grandparents, which is another one of our programs.
And it's a wonderful program.
Wonderful program. We place foster grandparents in classrooms with children. And they're not only in the public school system, but they're also at some Head Start centers. These are seniors, and we need volunteers for this program. Foster grandparents, senior companions, are seniors who are 55 years or older. That's not so senior.
No, that's not senior at all.
But that's okay. So,
I mean, a 55-year-old to me is a kid. You know what I mean?
But they are seniors, and they come in and they can volunteer, and they do get a small stipend, and we place them with, they get lots of training. They get some wonderful opportunity to interact together, keeps them out, busy and focused. And some work with children through the foster grandparent program, and some are placed as senior companions in homes with other seniors.
Wow, that is wonderful. How many volunteers would you say you have, if you could just in around?
In the foster grandparent and senior companion program, we have about 175 seniors who are in one of those two programs. Again, we love being community partners, and we have a collaboration with the local Alzheimer's Association for our senior companions, and do a lot of training with them so that they can go in homes with older adults with dementia, and you know, and give that caregiver a little bit of a break.
Yeah. So
it sort of channels off in lots of different directions, but we try to pull them all back in and make them work together.
The ideal volunteer, or maybe the not quite ideal, but still someone you'd love to have.
You know, everybody. Anybody can volunteer,
everybody.
because different programs have different needs. The Meals on Wheels program, you can do one day. we have groups who come in town and say, we'd like to do something today, and they may do that once. The foster grandparent and senior companions are more like ongoing daily positions where they are trained and receive training and have criteria. They have to meet a certain criteria. But let me tell you about one of the most exciting things we have coming up.
What is that?
We have a new grant coming, which is coming back to Wayne County. We have the Foster Grandparent Senior Companion Program, but the Corporation for National Service has a third program, RSVP. And I know you remember it from days back.
I do. It's coming back.
We're coming back.
That is wonderful.
We just got notified yesterday that we would be receiving that grant. We applied and we were very hopeful, but we were the only program in North Carolina that was received the grant this time.
Now let's see, RSVP, Retired Senior Volunteers.
You got it.
Hey, Retired Senior Volunteers Program. See, I remember these things. Or I at least remember one or two things anyway.
And one of the things that's exciting about this piece is it's been about 2 years. You know, we had it at Wages.
Right.
It went to Wayne Community College.
Right.
They did a fabulous job with it.
Yes, they did.
And for different reasons with funding and some other issues like that, that just wasn't able to sustain itself. And unfortunately, we lost the program. The program itself has sort of revamped a little bit. So there are focus areas that the Corporation of National Service has you address, and we picked two, and I think that's why we got the grant. One is health and nutrition. Well, we just said we need volunteers for our Meals on Wheels.
That's exactly right.
We have more people who need that service.
That's right.
And so we want to do that. The second area are military families. So what better place than Goldsboro with supporting our military families?
Right. Wow, there's so much going on. So much going on at Wages.
And you know, again, people hear Wages and they go, you know, I've heard of that place.
Yeah. What do you do?
But it's really hard to nail it down because we do so much.
Yeah.
But a lot of times you'll hear people say, oh, well, yeah, I know Meals on Wheels, or I know someone who has a senior companion, or I've heard of Head Start, or you know, I saw a special program.
And that all falls under your umbrella.
Yes.
That falls under the Wages program here in Wayne County. And there's so much more to talk about, but we're out of time. We could go on and on.
Go on.
We could go on.
Don't ask me to go
on. Okay, we're not going to go on. We're going to have to ask you to come back if you would be. Oh, that's wonderful. Love to have you back in here. Dr. Marley Ray, the Executive Director of Wages on Royal Avenue. If anyone has a question, or if you want to volunteer a day, or work for a week, or work for a month, or work for whenever you would so choose to work, the number is 919-734-1178.
That's correct.
Hey.
And we're also on Volunteer Wayne. So
And
you can find us.
Wow, okay. You sure make it easy.
We love being community partners.
Well, you're a great community partner. We appreciate you being with us.
Thank you, Wayne.
I'm Wayne Alley for WGTV. And we're back on WGTV today. Thank you for being with us. It's a Friday, October 5th.
It is. And Wayne, let's talk just for a minute about Crime Stoppers.
Let's do that.
You know, one of the things that I learned recently when I was talking with Paige Leonard, she is actually the law enforcement coordinator for that particular program. And I did not know that Crime Stoppers is a nonprofit organization.
It is.
It is run by a board of local community members. And they've been doing this program in Wayne County for over 30 years.
Yeah, yeah.
30 years. Have you been a part of it?
Well, people like Ted McDonough and Rick Sutton, and there are other people who've been a major part of this organization. And another Bill, a major part of the organization. It is indeed. In fact, a lot of people think it's a part of the police department or part of the sheriff's office.
And it is not.
It is not. It's a totally independent organization.
That's right.
But boy, did they do some good work.
They do. And I mean, their mission and their job is to bring the community members, law enforcement, sheriff and city council.
Troutman.
Excuse me?
Bill Troutman.
Oh, you thought of his name. But their job is to pull together the community, all local law enforcement, and media to help solve crimes. Right. That's what they're here to do. But they are a nonprofit. They're not funded by any state or local organization. They are funded just from you in the community for donations.
That's right.
Total donations. So that's one of the things that we wanted to remind the community. If you know of things that are going on, if you see odd or things that you've seen that you know are criminal activity, you can call or text Crime Stoppers, and your call is blocked. They don't know who you are. You can do it anonymously, totally, and you can give them tips, and you can win a reward, a cash reward, if you give them a tip that leads to an arrest for a felony conviction.
And if it's up to you. They don't have to know who you are.
Exactly.
They know nothing about you. They have no idea who you are, and it stays that way.
So you can call or text. Your call is blocked, the text is blocked, they don't know your name or your number, and you can win a reward, a cash reward, if your tip leads to an arrest for a felony.
That's exactly right. And it could be an award of a sizable amount. It could be up to $1,000.
That's right.
Up to that, providing there's an arrest and conviction.
That's right.
All right. Yeah, I love Crime Stoppers. That is a fantastic organization.
And we'll continue to give you additional information on Crime Stoppers as the week goes along.
Excellent. Very good. Well, it's Friday. That means tonight at the Wayne County Public Library, there's going to be a lock-in for 13 to 18-year-olds. If you have a 13 to 18-year-old that's giving you a hard time, send him over and let him lock him up. That's at the Wayne County Public Library tonight, and they'll be there all night, overnight. There'll be a lot of games and movies and all kinds of stuff, electronic games, fun activities. And it's well chaperoned, so go ahead and do that because
this is just neat to be in the library in a different environment like that.
Yeah, it is with other 13 to 18-year-olds.
Doing fun activities in a very protected environment.
That's exactly right. Ooh, if you like fish, or if you love the Shriners, today, beginning at 11 o'clock, going from 11 until 2, and 4 till 7 p.m., the Shriners Fish Fry is today.
Wayne, where can you go to buy fish?
I'm glad you asked. 3 locations. Herman Park Center is where you go in, you sit down, and you eat, and you have a good time. Eat in at Herman Park Center. If you want to drive through and head back to work or head home, you drive through Herman Park. Go around the fountain, Lady in the Fountain. But you drive through, you stop to pay your money, you get your fish. Or if you're in the southern end of the county, you drive through the drive-through on Highway 55 next to Robert's Machine Shop, right across from Mount Olive Center on Highway 55. And you're easy in and easy out. It's only $7 a plate, and it's a delicious meal.
And it's for a mighty good cause.
It certainly is that, and all the money raised, the net proceeds will benefit the Shriners Children's Hospital.
That's right.
All right.
That's right, Wayne.
Well, up next, we're going to hear from the DGDC. That's next.
We're going to hear about fun activities going on in Goldsboro.
On WGTV today.
Hi, and welcome to WGTV Today. I'm Kim Best, your host. Today I have with me Meg GERNAAT from the Downtown Goldsboro Development Corporation, and she's going to fill us in on all the events that DGDC has coming up this fall. Hi, Meg.
Hey.
Well, you all have a long list of
do.
events coming up, and you know what? We haven't talked about this recently, but you all need volunteers.
Oh, we do.
You need volunteers to participate in a long list of things. And you know, there are people looking for things to do, ways to volunteer. Can you tell us about some of your events and how people can volunteer?
Yeah, we host a lot of events downtown each year. We try to spread them out evenly so everybody can get involved or join us, you know, at 1 or 2 or all of them.
Yes.
But we have a lot of family-friendly events like Jazz on George, which is coming up in October. We've got Center Street Jams, which are really popular.
Oh yes, that's through the whole summer.
We've got Downtown Lights Up, we've got some teddy bear picnics, so we've got a lot of different events, and others need more volunteers, you know, than some of the smaller ones.
Right, right. So if a person or a group wants to pitch in and help or be a part of an event, how can they do that? Who do they contact, and how do they know when the events are?
Well, we typically like to have a list of events on our website, so everybody can visit the website and see what's coming up. But also on our website, on the right-hand side, there's a link that will take them to a volunteer page.
Oh, okay.
So they can see what's our next event, which volunteers we need as far as the times, a little description of that
what
volunteer
they'll be
position.
doing.
Right.
Yeah,
And they can always call our office at the DGDC
Okay.
at 919-735-4959.
And give your website again, if you will.
It's www.dgdc.org.
Okay.
So anytime, I mean, I would love to have people just blowing up my phones to come volunteer.
I'm sure. Well, you all do so much good downtown, and you provide so many different entertainment and activities for families to do. You know, people may not know they can volunteer. They may think you have a large staff that can take care of this, and you really don't.
No, our events are all manned by volunteers. We have a wonderful board of directors who helps out at all of our events, but we always need more. For Jazz on George, for instance, we need 36 volunteers.
Oh my goodness.
So we've already started recruiting for that, and anybody who's interested can go to our website and look at the positions. We also have Lights Up coming up, and we'll need some volunteers for that as well.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that event. It'll be unique this year because it will be in our completed block of the Streetscape project. So can't wait to see how that's going to all turn out. But I think it'll be a great first grand opening sort of event for the community to come and see what's going on. Well, are there any upcoming events other than Jazz on George that people can participate in?
We've got a cash mob planned for December. We did one of those earlier.
Oh yeah, it was fun.
In September. And then we also have another bar crawl coming up. And those are events that they can get involved in, but not necessarily that we need volunteers for. Our two biggies are Jazz on George and Downtown Lights Up.
Okay, and Jazz on George is?
October 27th.
And Lights Up?
Is November 20th.
Perfect, okay. So what kind of volunteers are you looking for? What ages? What will they be doing?
You know, I'm really big on if someone has an interest in helping out, I will find something for them. So when we've got volunteers to work our beverage wagons, like our beer wagon, we can't put anyone there who isn't, you know, of legal drinking age. Right. But we've got our Coke wagon, we've got kids activities that we often need help with. We need people to check IDs of our guests if those guests are planning on drinking. So any age, really. I mean, I don't ever want to turn someone away who wants to get involved.
Okay, wonderful. So there's just so many different events they can participate in, and there's also different jobs that they can do.
Yes.
And they may find out that they like being a part of this, and who knows, they may want to apply one day to be a part of the board.
Right.
You never know.
And our volunteer positions, we always try to keep them, you know, to 2 or 3 hours, just so people can come, participate, you know, and then enjoy the event themselves.
Right, right. Well, so you've told us the when and where. Tell us one more time how they can access the application or the form that they would need to fill out.
If they go to the DGDC website at dgdc.org, they can find a link in the upper right corner of our website, and it'll say, you know, volunteer. They can click that link and it'll take them to our next event and which volunteers we need.
Okay, great. Or they can call your office, either one. All right, perfect. Well, thank you, Meg. I appreciate that, and I think that's a good way for the community to find out more about what DGDC does on a regular basis, because you all have a staff of 3.
We do.
But you also have a board that you meet with on a monthly basis that sort of, you know, watches what you do, sort of monitors and keeps everything going straight forward and staying true to the mission of the DGDC organization. Well, thank you so much, and we're looking forward to hearing what's coming up a little bit later in the year.
Thank you.
If you want to find out more about what's going on downtown Goldsboro and how you can volunteer, don't forget it's dgdc.org, or you can call the number that Meg gave you earlier. You never know, you may find out that you really want to be a part of some of the local organizations. Volunteering is the way the world works. So thank you so much for being a part today. I'm Kim Best, your host, and we hope you learned more about what's happening in your city.
We're back on WGTV today. We're almost out of time. Where's the time go?
I know. Well, Wayne, we have somebody exciting coming on Monday to give us some information. How about telling us about that?
That indeed we do. You know, we've told you about the big Celebrate the Art of Survival coming up at Wayne Memorial Hospital on Tuesday of next week. Well, coming in to see us and visit us Monday, we'll have someone in to talk to us about that particular celebration. It's a celebration of cancer survivors. And the event, which begins at 5:30 next Tuesday evening at the hospital in the dining room, will be artwork and jewelry designed and created by area cancer survivors. There'll be a harp and violin music by members of the North Carolina Symphony.
That's beautiful.
I love those guys. Dance lessons from the Top Hat Ballroom. Also, well, there's just going to be a whole long list of things to learn, things to do.
She can give us details on all the different events and activities they'll have going on that day. And what's that date one more time?
That's this Tuesday, October 9th. October 9th, beginning at 5:30 in the afternoon at Wayne Memorial Hospital in the dining room, and it is free of charge to go.
That's great. Well, you know what, Wayne? I think we have just about finished up our show for today.
You know, I have to. We'll have to start all over again tomorrow morning. Please join us at 7 a.m. Monday through Friday for WGTV Today. You can also catch us on YouTube.
That's right. And if you're a local nonprofit and you'd like for us to help promote your event, email us at wgtv@waynegov.com, and about 2 weeks ahead of your event, and we will promote it here on the show and help you tell the community what's going on and try to help your event out.
That's exactly right. So until tomorrow morning, I'm Wayne Alley.
And I'm Kim Best. Thank you for being with us today.